Hi everyone and welcome back to Art a la carte. Today we're going to be drawing hands. Now when you start drawing hands, don't think of the hand as one just shape. Think of it as several different shapes put together covered by, well, skin. Let's take the palm first. Probably the hardest thing people have actually is getting the base of your hand, which is your palm of your hand. You're going to think of the palm of your hand as kind of a square shape. So let's just sketch in a square shape here and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so there's the square shape for my drawn palm. Here's the square shape, 1, 2, 3, 4 points here on my palm. Now if you also look between here and here, you're going to have almost a protruding triangle. This is for where your thumb comes. That's why we have posable thumbs that can move around. So from here to here, it's going to kind of come out just a little bit, not even halfway across. If you could go halfway, it's kind of at the top of that, but the farthest point is a little bit down from there. So if you cut that in half and cut that in half, that's probably where it's going to come out the most. And that's where your thumb is going to come out. The other thing that people have a hard time is the wrists. They draw the hand going into the arm as the same thickness. It's the same thickness here as is up here, which isn't so. Your wrists tend to be a lot thinner than your actual palm of your hand, and it comes in a little bit. So laying my hand down, you can definitely see how this kind of comes in a little bit, and even comes in a little bit right over here as it comes in to my wrist. So I'm just going to bring this down just a little bit, and I'll bring this in just a little bit. So there's our wrists. Now the top of the palm where the fingers are connected is not actually straight across. If you look at your hand, it's slightly arched. So I'm going to put a slightly arched top there. And the highest point actually is where the middle of the hand is, the middle finger. Now when drawing the actual fingers on your hand, you're going to do the same thing we did when we drew people. We're going to draw stick-figured fingers. So we're going to I put very light circles right here at the base of my hand where the knuckles are. These are all joints because my fingers can bend and move from here. I've got really big knuckles, so you can see the circles well. So I put them there, and then I'm going to have a large circle actually right in here where my thumb is, because it can pivot all over the place. Then you're going to draw in a little stick line for each one of your fingers going up to your first knuckles. Actually, I guess these would be the first knuckles, these would be the second knuckles. Anyway, to the next knuckle. And again, they're not all the same distance. In fact, the pinky finger on mine is almost parallel with this line here. It's just right on top of that. So this one doesn't come up very high because it starts down so much lower on my hand. And then this one, and then this one, and then this one. And then coming up from there. Okay, and I almost, because there's no more bending after this knuckle and the actual my finger, I'm going to put long ovals here, and this is actually that knuckle plus the fingertip. Now with your thumb, if you bring your thumb into your hand, you're going to notice that that joint here is almost parallel to this line here. And it has a bend here and a bend here. So there's your hand. Now it's simply filling in, fleshing out your hand a little bit. And again, you can kind of look at that. You don't want to get your fingers too thick, especially on if you're doing a girl's hand. Guys' hands can get a little bit thicker. They have kind of tougher hands than girls. I draw a lot more girl hands because I can look at my hands. So, all right, and coming up here. And you'll notice when these two fingers come in, they have like a little line crease. So I'm just going to put that little bit of a crease right in there. And when I get to the knuckle, I'm not going to really protrude out. If you do that, you're going to really age your hands. So I'm just going to kind of only just indicate it just slightly. And then coming out to where the fingers are, the fingertips. after this middle knuckle, your fingers really do start to taper down. On most people. Some people don't have tapering fingers. Okay, so once you have it sketched in, then take your eraser and go ahead and erase the lines that you don't need anymore. Okay, so here's our finished sketching of a hand. This is now where you can kind of look at it, decide if it's looking right to you, if you need to make things a little thicker. My palm is a little bit narrower than mine, so I could go ahead and bring that out just a little bit, thicken up my wrists a little bit, would help help that look a little bit better. Just remember, there's no artist that does everything perfectly the first time. It's all about drawing it out and then looking for ways that you can improve. You're generally not going to want to just draw your hands flat like this. You're going to want to bend them and twist them and turn them, and so that's just going to take some practicing. But some fun things you can do is just kind of add a little indication of like the little wrinkles at the knuckles. You can just add some little lines there. You can actually add some kind of the dimples the skin makes around the knuckle itself. You can add the little moons on the fingernails themselves. Like that. So that's your basic flat hand towards you.